Well, you wouldn't pick up a baseball bat for the first time and expect to hit a home run, and photography is no different, especially landscape photography. You can't expect that right when you pick up your camera, you're going to be taking amazing gallery quality images already. And I'm going to be the first one to tell you guys that I struggled a lot when I first started photography. My name is Austin James Jackson, and in today's video, we're going to be talking about 4 really quick tips that can help you guys, that help me improve my photography, and it can literally help you overnight. These tips took me years to figure out, and they're things that I wish I could go back and tell myself because it would save me a ton of time. So I'm here to share them with you guys to hopefully fast track you guys on the way to taking better photos. So we're going to talk about these 4 tips in today's video. Let's go ahead and get started with tip number 1. So first thing in landscape photography that you need to pay attention to is that you can't go out and always expect to get great conditions. To be honest with you guys, if you're going to just shoot those wide angle shots, you're going to be relying on amazing conditions every time you go out, and it's unrealistic to think that you're going to get those conditions every time you go out, even every other time you go out. Honestly, if you're watching the weather, if you're lucky, you're probably getting great conditions 1 out of every 5 or 10 times you go out. So tip number 1 is don't force these great conditions. You can't always expect that you're going to have great conditions. So don't think that you're going to get your best photo every single time you go out. Unlike other hobbies or sports or whatever like that, where you can have your best day every day, photography is not like that. You simply won't have your best day. You're very reliant on a little bit of luck and a little bit of weather. So this tip essentially just means that don't always rely or count on getting the best photo every day. A lot of times you just have to understand that it's a process. You won't always get the best conditions, and you need those great conditions in order to provide great photos. Now this goes directly into tip number 2, which is don't force or think of predetermined shots. So when you're going to a location, maybe you've seen photos of it before and you have a particular photo that you have in mind that you'd like to shoot. Maybe it's a wide angle and there's a mountain and some flowers and a lot going on. But if you have this predetermined shot in mind and you are locked into just getting that one shot, you are more often than not going to get the best shot of the day. And the reason is because of tip number 1, which is that you can't always rely on great conditions. If you're always going out there and you're trying to shoot these amazing wide angle shots and you're just wondering why your photos aren't as good, it's because other people or other photos you've seen better conditions, because the photos that you're seeing online are the photographers that have shared the amazing days or nights that they've been out shooting where they got those great conditions. So if you're going out trying to shoot the same shot as them, shooting that wide angle, that's great, but more likely than not, you're not going to get the same great conditions that they did. And you might have that shot in the back of your mind to shoot wide angle, and if you get those great conditions, then you can set up for it, but don't be so locked into it. I've found a lot of success over the last couple of years doing things other than using my wide angle lens. When I first started photography, I honestly used my wide angle lens on every single shoot, and now I'm probably using it like less than once a month when I'm out shooting. I'm hardly ever using the wide angle lens because it's so much easier to find those great compositions with a mid-range or a telephoto lens. I'll show you guys a few examples of some mid-range and telephoto shots that I really like because they're so much easier to get because I'm not counting on amazing clouds or conditions that I would when I'm shooting with a wide angle. So make sure you pick up those lenses. Don't have a predetermined shot in mind, and always look for what is interesting in the scene rather than trying to capture the whole grand scene. Try and find exactly what looks interesting, where the light is hitting something, what looks flattering, because the fact of the matter is that every scene is not going to look great in any light. So always look for what's interesting in the scene. I always tell my clients at my workshops, don't have your wide angle lens on if it's a totally blue sky, because blue sky is not interesting and you can find a much better shot by zooming in and looking somewhere else. So number 3, I've realized as I have become more experienced in photography that the absolute most important setting that you must get right if you want realistic looking photos is the white balance. It is so important, and so many people either don't think about it or they just turn it towards yellow to make their photo, the sunrise or sunset, look a little bit more vibrant, but you can't do this. The white balance is so incredibly important. You should be spending as much time as you need in order to nail the white balance to make your photos look natural. If the white balance is off, I guarantee you, no matter what you do with your edit, your photo will not look good. White balance is so important. I'll link my tutorial to show you guys how I edit the white balance and some tips that I have for it, but you have to nail the white balance. This is the most important thing in your edit. It's absolutely the very first thing you should do, and you have to be very careful and make sure that you nail this, because with an improper white balance, like I said, you guys will not have a good looking photo. it will not look realistic and you won't like it. So white balance is the most important thing. Do this first, pay a lot of attention to it, put a lot of effort into making sure the white balance is correct. Don't try and warm things up too much to make your sunrise or sunset more vibrant. Honestly, just go with the truest white balance where things are neutral in your scene. That's always what I'm looking for when I'm changing my white balance, is I'm looking for neutrality. This leads into my fourth and final tip here. The fourth thing that I've learned that's really helped my photography is that less editing is more. Honestly, when I started photography, I used to spend 4, 5, 6 hours editing my photo, dodging and burning, changing the sky, moving clouds around, warping this and that. And I still do a lot of these things, but I've learned that I don't need to throw the whole book at every single photo that I have. A lot of times, less editing is more. I used to go into editing thinking that I'm trying to create an amazing photo. Whereas now the way I look at editing is I'm trying to improve an amazing photo I already took. So going back to tip number 1 on don't expect great conditions all the time. If I don't get great conditions and my photos aren't good, I'm simply just going to delete them. And unfortunately that sucks because we want to get great photos every time we go out. But you need to accept the fact that if you don't have a great shot to start with, you can only do so much to it, and more editing isn't going to make that shot look very good, most likely. So just don't over edit your photos. Spend less time editing, or if you don't want to spend less time, just spend more time thinking about what you're doing. Put more thought into your edits and don't feel like you need to over edit your photo. I used to spend hours in Photoshop and now I'm spending so much less time. A lot of my photos I'm just editing in Lightroom, but it's just so much better. You need to get a good looking shot in the field, and that's going to help you become a great photographer if you're focused on trying to get the best image you can in the field, the best composition. So you need to do less editing. So more editing definitely doesn't lead to photos looking bad, but what more editing leads to is that you will run into making mistakes on your edit to where things don't look realistic. Your masks won't be good, or you'll be adding too much color. The more edits you apply, the more chance you have of ending up on the slippery slope where your photo just doesn't look good. So the less edits you can apply to make your photo look good, the better, which is why you want to really nail that composition and that scene and get the right light when you're in the field. Honestly, don't feel bad if you go out on a shoot and you delete all the photos because they aren't good. This is really unfortunate, but it is the unfortunate part about photography, is that we are not batting 100%. If you can bat even 1 out of every 10 times you go out and get a good photo, you are honestly doing pretty good. So don't over edit. Don't feel obligated like you need to have a great photo from every single shoot, because it's simply not going to happen if you want to become a great photographer. All right, guys, I really hope that helps you to become a better photographer overnight. I really think these tips are some of the key things that you need to understand if you want to become a great photographer and you want to take better photos. If you guys have any questions or any tips of your own that you like using, let me know down in the comments. I'd love to hear from you guys. I'd love to hear if you think this is helpful as well. Please let me know. And as always, really appreciate you guys watching this video. Please make sure to like and subscribe if you haven't already. It helps me to continue to make these free videos. Thank you guys so much. We will see you guys next weekend. Bye-bye.